In this video, we're going to discuss the NECA Ultimate Freddy Krueger from A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors. Welcome to the Swearwolves Horror Podcast YouTube channel. I'm Brett, and if you're a returning subscriber, I just want to thank you for coming back. And if you're new to this channel, I want to thank you for stopping by. Please consider clicking the subscribe button, as well as that notification bell below. We upload videos on a regular basis in which we review anything and everything horror, from action figures and toys, to soundtracks, to various collectibles, you name it. Today, we're going to be discussing the Ultimate Freddy Krueger from A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors, one of my favorite, probably my favorite A Nightmare on Elm Street movie. You might be asking, Brett, you have two of them in front of you, and that is correct. I do have two of them. One of them is a little beat up. This is the older version. You can tell this is the older version too because it has this plastic hangy doodad that they use to hang it up on the pegs at the store. NECA now has that same thing, but only it's cardboard and it's built right into the box. So they used to add it after the fact to these boxes, and I know some collectors liked the plastic one because they could take that off and they could store their figures kind of on a shelf like this more easily. With this, you have to bend it down or cut it off if that's how you wanted to store. I really don't have a preference, but I do have two of them, and there's a reason for that. A couple years ago, I had the pleasure of meeting Freddy Krueger himself, Robert Englund, and he signed this one for me. So it says, "For Brett, sleep kills, Freddy Krueger." And then Robert Englund, of course. Very nice guy. Love that he signed this figure for me, so I do not open that figure. It kind of just stays on my wall in my collection room. So it's nice to have that. But of course, I did want to open one, and I have to open one. So I had to buy another one. I found this not that long ago. Actually, I've been putting it off for a while because I thought, well, I don't need it. Need it. But now, then again, I did need it. So here's the box from NECA. We already opened it up and saw what the figure looked like inside when I showed you Robert Englund's autograph on the other one. This box is in much better condition than this one. This one was kind of raggedy. I probably just had it in a backpack all day, and when I met him, I just shoved it back in there. So it's not mint, but it does have Robert Englund's autograph on there, so that kind of adds to the value, I think. Not that anybody other than someone named Brett would ever want that. So here's the back of it. Kind of shows you the figure and a couple of different, the head sculpt and the different accessories that come with it. So let's go ahead and open this figure up, take a look at it, and give our thoughts on it. All right, we got the figure open. There's Freddy Krueger himself and all of his accessories. So before we get to the figure, let's talk about the accessories that we get in the package for this Ultimate Freddy Krueger from NECA. This is from A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors, so if you're not familiar with the movie so much, you may not know what all of this is, so I'll try to do my best to explain it. The main girl, Kristen, who is played by Patricia Arquette in the movie, she has these dreams, and she doesn't want to go to sleep because she has these nightmares, actually. And so she ends up building kind of this model house that she sees in her dreams, which is, of course, the Nancy Thompson house from the first movie, and I guess it's in the second movie as well. But it's Nancy's house from the first movie, and it's since been boarded up, at least in the dream world, and it's all closed off. And so this is kind of her paper mache model of the home. It looks really good. It looks really cool. It looks just like what she's building in the movie, actually. She's got some popsicle sticks and, like I said, paper mache, and she's painting it. And that's how the movie opens up. So this is a nice little feature to have in the box. Another thing that happens towards the beginning of the movie is Kristen ends up going to a mental hospital, and one of the patients there really likes puppets, and his nightmare is that this little puppet version of Freddy is kind of climbs off the marionette and chases after him. So this is pretty cool here. It is, I think, supposed to stand. There's like this little base for it, but mine must have been bent inside the packaging, so it doesn't want to stand at all. But if you wanted to display this and it didn't stand, I've talked about it before, there's a little bit of putty that you can get, and you can just throw it right underneath here and then just kind of stick it. That putty is removable and doesn't harm anything, so it'll just help it. Oh, there he goes. He's standing up now. So we'll put him over here by the house. Maybe just work with it a little bit. One of the other things, let's talk about this alternate head here. This is the head where, of course, the cross gets burned into Freddy's head. And just a good head sculpt right there of all the different, the gnarly teeth and the pretty wicked burn marks. This is my favorite looking Freddy Krueger, I think, of all of them. I think they really nailed it. There goes our little marionette. I think they really nailed it in the makeup on the third movie. The first movie and the second movie I thought were just fine. You don't even see Freddy that much in the first movie as far as screen time goes and close-ups. But in the second movie you see him a little bit more. He's a little more ominous, I think, in the second movie. This one kind of toes the line between being acceptable to look at but still scary, and I really dig this version of him. So the head sculpt on that is really good. We've got a couple of hands here. Also, one of the patients in the hospital that Kristen goes to, she is a former drug addict, and in her dream Freddy gets these syringes on both of his hands and he causes her to overdose.
Let's get high.
But really cool sculpts here on the hands. As you can see, there's his gloved hand with the syringes and his regular hand also with the syringes. So really nice addition there. Then we have this torso here that we'll put on later, but at one point in the movie Freddy rips open his shirt and you see all the souls from all the victims that he has killed over time, and they're all just sitting there in his chest. So you can see the faces of the victims in his burnt chest there. It's kind of cool. Or it is really cool. We also obviously get Freddy's signature fedora, which will sit on top of his head once we're ready to pose him. I'm not really sure how I'm going to pose him yet. I might just keep him like this with the fedora and maybe the house next to him and put the other stuff away until I'm ready to change him. But let's look at the figure itself. This is, of course, Freddy Krueger, our villain in the Nightmare on Elm Street, in A Nightmare on Elm Street, all the films that followed there. So let's talk about the articulation first. Of course, the head moves side to side and up and down, sort of like on a ball joint. We have his arms, which are also at a ball joint at the shoulder, and it bends at the elbow. Then, of course, at the wrist, it turns and kind of goes in and out, moves in and out like that too. He has movement in the waist, turns side to side, and then, of course, in the hips, goes out and up and down and back and forth. Knee bends, and you get movement at the ankle as well for the foot. The head sculpt on this, as we talked about the other head that came with this, is really good. This is a really kick-ass version of Freddy Krueger, if I do say so myself. I really like how they got the likeness of him pretty much spot on. The burn marks. He is one gnarly looking dude. The sweater, of course, the green and red sweater that Freddy wears. Also, like, they got the slope in his shoulders. Robert Englund has often said that when he first got the role of Freddy, that he did that kind of slouching with his shoulders, kind of like a gunslinger. And this was his gun and holstering it, and it kind of weighted down the one shoulder. Gives it a little bit more character, and they got that in here. And he's just wearing some pants, and he's got his brown boots. Really good detail. I mean, like, just even down to the eyelets in the boots there. Can't talk about Freddy Krueger without talking about his glove. And there it is, the Part 3 glove that he has. Just all the detail in that. And of course his hand, you can see his fingertips and the palm of his hand underneath there. It's just a really good rendition of the glove, really good representation of that. And then on the back side, just more of the same. Not anything too special there. Let's take off this sweater. Let's see how that comes off here. I'm pretty sure we can just pop it apart. Oh yeah. Okay, one side, the other side. And this should just come right off. There you go. And then this version will just snap right on. Just like that. That is pretty rad. If I do say so myself. That is really cool. And you can kind of have Freddy. That is really cool. Maybe I will keep him with this version of the sweater on, showing all the soles. Let's put his fedora on him to complete the look. Yeah. Let's stand him up there, see what he looks like. We'll just lean him. We'll lean him against the wall here. You can get a good shot of what he looks like. That's a really good rendition of the Freddy Krueger character. NECA, once again, outdoing themselves. This is an older figure, I know, in my collection. I just haven't had a chance to open it up and review it. But I gotta say that this gets 5 out of 5 Pamela Voorhees heads as far as I'm concerned, for all the detail, the accessories that they include, from the house to the marionette puppet version to the alternate hands that you can pop on, and then of course the alternate torso. So that's going to do it for this. If you like this video, please click the button below. Also, if you haven't yet subscribed and feel so inclined, click both the subscribe button as well as the notification bell. We are the Swearwolves Horror Podcast, and we do a weekly show in which we review horror movies. So please check us out by searching for the Swearwolves wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. You can also visit our website at TheSwearwolves.com. So, for the Swearwolves, I'm Brett. Hi, this is Brett with the Swearwolves, and when I'm not editing videos or making content for YouTube, I just sit here and wait. Just wait. If you like the video that you just saw, go ahead and check that video out right there. And if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and click that button right there. I'll wait.